Hello and welcome to my class, students. Hope you are studying. So today I am going to begin the second part of this chapter, chapter 3. That is, we have already discussed about the geography. So in the previous classes, I have talked about the different like a evergreen forest, then a grassland, and many other subtopic that is related with this chapter. I have already talked about. So today I'll be speaking about the desert vegetation. Now see, the desert vegetation actually found in the areas with a high and a low temperature with a scanty rainfall. So we have to understand that what exactly the desert mean. And a desert actually in the barren land, and then here the rainfall is very scanty, very little, and then somehow some of the plants are actually growing due to the scanty rainfall, and in every area you may not be find water available, but it is full of like a sand and gravel and many other like rocky areas. And the desert can be the two uh, types, such as one is a like a hot desert and the other one is a cold desert. So in class 7 we have talked about the hot desert and cold desert. So we have already understood that desert means like a region which generally actually experiences extreme temperatures and receive less than 25 centimeter annual rainfall, and then has a scanty vegetation. It is actually known as the desert. So we have learned in class 7 about the hot desert and a cold desert. Hot desert we have learned especially in the world, that is Sahara, the biggest desert. Then we have got in India, that is the like our third desert, and then we have the also cold desert, it is Ladakh. So these are the few things we have learned about. Okay, so today let us know about the desert vegetation, how this desert vegetation actually are grown, and then how these particular desert areas, the animals and the forestry and varieties of like this habitation of the human being, then a lifestyle of this people are able to understand through this paragraph. So here we have to understand that it is actually found, especially we are speaking about the Sahara region, which is in a northern Africa. Then you will find that Kalahari part of the this desert area, and then Namib desert, that is in southern Africa. It means in Africa continent you will find in different parts of this continent actually only the desert. Okay, and one of the desert again we can mention, that is about the Atacama desert in South America, and a Sonogram desert in North America, Great Australian desert in Australia, and a Arabian desert in Saudi Arabia, and a Great Indian desert in India even we have got. So that is a cold desert are found in temperate regions, then in the interiors of the Asia, and we have got some of them Gobi Desert and Tibetan Plateau, and South America, that is a Patagonia Plateau. In these areas you can find these deserts are actually uh, especially in a huge area occupied. So let us know about the desert vegetation. Now see, desert vegetation actually only supports, that is a xerophytic plants, plants which can adapt themselves to hot and dry climate. So hot and dry climate, it means these varieties of plants say found in this region, and these particular plants in fact are found both side, especially like in a hot area also and a cold area also is available. This is actually adjustable plant actually. At any places it is able to grow. Then we have got bubble, one of the plants which is also found in the desert area. Then a kikar, cactus, then a date palm and acacia are some of the examples of xerophytic plants. So these are a few plants that is we can find in the different areas, and these are the plants actually grown especially in the desert area, and these plants in fact are also actually a kind of like a cultivation, especially we have the here the date palm. So in desert area most of the these countries are actually having the business this planting the date palm, and then also they are planting the other sort of, which is a part of the like a desert plantation. So these are the all things people are actually trying to do that. Then you can find also Such plants have actually here the thick stems to store water and long roots to draw water from the great depths. It means you have to understand that in the desert area, the depth of the like a river or maybe the streams are actually very deep down. So that's why whatever the plants we find in this area are actually deep rooted, and these plants actually growing in this desert and protecting themselves from the desert. Actually, this particular plants has got the thick like a varieties of like a skin. So that is the characteristics of the plants of this desert area. Next, we have got these features are actually essential to prevent loss of moisture even, and then thorny bushes and shrubs are also common in hot deserts, whereas cold deserts are mostly barren and have limited growth of shrubs. So compared to the like in the hot desert, in the cold desert you won't find much like plants. In fact, the areas are very much barren, and you won't find hardly here and there you will find like some examples we can see in Ladakh area. In Ladakh, most of the areas are not greenery at all. So that is actually found the rocky and then a barren and a red. Okay, so these are a few things we find. So that is how the plants are actually grown. So in the barren and have limited growth of plants in the cold desert and all. So let us know about the tundra desert or tundra vegetation. So tundra vegetation is means we can see especially in the north of the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere. Okay, in the northern hemisphere, when you look at the globe, then on the northern side you will see that Arctic Circle where this particular region is located, and this particular region is actually extends over the northern part of the Canada and Alaska, southern Greenland, and the northern part of the Eurasia bordering the Arctic Circle. So these are the few countries that is actually found. And due to the freezing conditions, so this tundra region is very much cold, and you can find this tundra region heavy like a snowfall. So see, due to the freezing condition in this areas, what happens? The plants' life is very limited. So not much actually found in this area. Plants are very limited, and then you also find that some of the plants like a birch, willow, mosses, lichens, and a variety of like a wildflowers are also found here in the summer season when it is slightly warm. It means all through the year it is cold, but in some time there is even the summer season like a small month or a short time of this summer season begins. There you will find that this particular what called the area, some mosses, some plants are actually grown. So that is we have to understand. Okay. Okay, then the next part we have got about the natural vegetation of India. Now see, natural vegetation of India, when we speak about, it is actually what is the availability of our nature in the country India. So the major vegetations or major types of vegetations are actually found in India are like you will find evergreen forest, that is a part of the one forest will be finding here. Then secondly we have got a tropical deciduous forest, and then a thorn forest, mountain forest, and a tidal forest. So these are the few varieties of forest that we can discuss in this chapter. Now the first part is about the tropical evergreen forest. Now what is a tropical evergreen forest? Now tropical evergreen forests are actually found in areas which receives heavy rainfall, more than 200 centimeter. Okay, so such as like a western slopes of the Western Ghats. You must remember Western Ghats, the northeastern state part of the West Bengal, Odisha, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Then here some of the plants are grown like a mahogany, ebony, rosewood are the main actually forest or main trees grown here. Second one we have got about the tropical deciduous forest. Now tropical deciduous forests are found especially in the area called such as like a northern plains, the foothills of the Himalaya. Then you will find the some of the parts are actually Deccan Plateau, and then here the rainfall annually we can find 100 centimeter to 200 centimeter, and then they are not as dense as the tropical evergreen forest. The main trees found here are bamboo, sandalwood, teak, shisham, and sal. These are the bit costly trees which is located in these areas. So that is about the tropical deciduous forest. Next we have the thorn forest. Now thorn forest, when you see, it is found especially where there is a less like rainfall, less than the 50 centimeter, you must remember. And here some of the like states are actually including, that is Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, Haryana, and some part of like Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and a Deccan Plateau at the same time. So these are the few states are actually found in the especially thorn forest. And here the main trees found here are actually acacia, that is a kikar, and also khajur. So it means you can see these are the plants are. And thorny bushes and shrubs can also be seen here. So that is very natural. Wherever there is a desert, you will find that most of the like thorny bushes are actually grown, and cactus, of course, the part of the this desert plants. Then next we have got the mountain forest. So this mountain forest is actually found in the high altitudes of the Himalayas especially, and then these forests are support the growth of deciduous trees such as like a sal and bamboo and all is a part of this one. And a carnivorous trees actually such as like a pine, then you can find deodar, spruce, and a birch. These are the few plants that is also grown in the mountain areas. So that is about the mountain forest. Next we have the tidal forest. Now what is the tidal forest? Tidal means you must remember near the ocean or near the sea. Now see, this particular area or forest is found in the low-lying deltas regions of rivers such as like a Ganga, Brahmaputra, then a Mahanadi, Krishna, Kaveri, Godavari. These are the few rivers are actually part of this forest that is available here. So one of the biggest forests that we have got, that is a Sundarbans. Sundarbans are the biggest actually mangrove forests located in the Ganga Brahmaputra delta. The Sundarbans are actually named after the most common trees Sundari found here. So that is actually grown near the coastal region, and this particular tree is half of the plants are actually grown under the water in fact, and then half you can find the above the water. So this is the tidal forest, of course, we can find. So the Andaman and Nicobar Islands actually located in India. We have the maximum amount of forest cover, and here about 87% of the is land area. You must remember the land area is covered with the forest only here. So that is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay, next we have to learn about the conservation of natural vegetation. Now see, when we speak about the conservation of the forest, how we can protect our plants. Now see, the rapid destruction of the forests are actually acquiring land for farming, setting up the industries, settlements, and a fuel is resulting the depletion of the forest cover all over the world. Now, cutting trees on large scale to clear forests is called deforestation, and trees are actually renewable resources, but since they take a long time to regenerate, so they should be conserved. Now, we must remember that cutting of the trees within the minute you can complete it, but things that to grow a plant it takes quite many years, and till it grows you may be dying also, is it not? So these are the few things that is actually we have to understand, that how we should be taking care of the plants, in fact whatever the plants available, because ultimately the plants actually a kind of like a life giving air for us, because without plants we may not be having the proper oxygen, and due to the lack of oxygen we may have the problem in our body. So that is, so let us know how we can prevent. It is not only the black and white letter, but in reality also we should practice. Today's world we can see that many of the political leaders are only just speaking in the air, but the things are not taken care of. Okay, hardly you see during the construction of the road and all, highway, national highway, many of the this road while constructing, many of the biggest trees are actually cut down, and in the name of planting the trees they have planted, but then they have not taken care of that. And today for example all the national highway you won't see much trees, bigger trees and all, and as a result of, you see, the global warming is a very rapidly increasing, and it is a very dangerous. It is going to harm. It is going to make the world more and more like a miserable. Okay, so I think let us know about this one, how we can protect. So reckless cutting of the trees should be avoided very much. And then second one, we have to understand the area under forest cover should be increased. It may say wherever the forest is there, some more area should be planted the trees instead of the leaving the area barren. Then third one, the practice of shifting agriculture should be discouraged. It means we should avoid it. We should avoid having the shifting agriculture, because shifting agriculture can be destroy the plants, at the same time the animals even. So a large number of trees should be planted to secure our future needs. Now, suppose the government is not taking the serious, like a serious, what called like a scheme to plant these trees. In future, we may not be having the proper trees, so we have to take care of that. So awareness should be created among the people of all communities about the importance of the forest. Now, we may get the instruction in the school, but you can see in the villages, many of the parents may not be educated. Many of the parents are engaged themselves in a daily wages, but they may not be having this kind of like knowledge. So these are the things actually the from the like a school, from the government department, from the NGO, and many other private departments also can impart this particular knowledge, information to the common people about the forest and the planting of the trees and all. Then only the world can become the revived, and we will be surviving better way. Okay, so I think this one we have to need to know about it. Okay, then next we have got the distribution of the wildlife. Now see, wildlife, now we have learned about the forestry. Now we will be discussing about the wildlife. So wildlife is actually essential part of our ecosystem, and both natural vegetation and then wildlife are actually interlinked. So it may say animal and nature is totally interlinked. So the natural vegetation actually like a forest, grasslands and deserts actually provide a natural habitat to all the animals. So all the forestry, all the things actually helping us to be more and more like a vibrant, and more to be like a strong. But suppose these other things are lacking, then the animals and many other like that is life that is existing in this world will die soon. So animals of different like regions adapt themselves to their respective habitats. Therefore, natural vegetation is an area determines the type of wildlife available there. So let us see the distribution of animals in a different continents as per the landforms of those continents. So according to the landform, according to the like vegetation, according to the weather condition of different countries, the like animals are actually distributed in different parts of the world. So let's know about the Africa. Now see, in Africa, elephants, rhinoceros, then hippopotamus, pythons, crocodiles, then you will see the gorillas, apes, and chimpanzees live very much in this area. That is especially the area is equatorial forest, and deer, giraffes, zebras, then stags are actually also found in the grassland. Camel and also ostriches are also found in the desert area. So how this animals are actually living in this area are different. South America, let's see, in South America what are the animals are actually living. So here a very rich diversity wildlife is seen. It is in South America, namely the flightless birds we can find, then a condor, the largest bird of prey, then a hummingbird is available here, then a different types of like parrots, anaconda, one of the largest snakes that we have got here in South America. Then you will find the camels, then a puma, jaguar, then you will find alligator, monkey, and a giant turtle, and also anteaters and armadillos also found here in this area, which is actually the ancient mammals of South America, very much old animals. So that is about. Then next we have got like a North America. North America, what is we have got the animals, especially North America actually experiences like extreme cold climate. So here you can find some of the animals. Animals found here like reindeer, Arctic fox, then a musk ox, sable, mink, polar bear, and a blue fox. So these are few things animals are found. So then Europe has the limited wildlife. That is the mainly like animals are here found bear actually found. Then wolf, wild boar, wild sheep, antelope, then a rabbit, deer are also found in a Europe country. And the fur-bearing animals such as like a mink, then a ermine and sable are also found here. And also you can find like some of the things like a partridges, ducks, then larks, cuckoos, skylarks, and nightingales are also found as a bird over here in Europe country. Okay, so next we have got Asia, Australia, and Antarctica. So in the next class, I will talk about this part. Okay, so you read through all the this paragraph and you underline and keep it your knowledge increasing. Okay, so thank you and have a great day ahead.